The United States is dramatically ramping up its military posture in West Asia. The Pentagon is doubling its deployment of A-10 Warthog attack aircraft, sending 18 more jets to join those already operating in the region. This comes at a time when the US President Donald Trump has publicly stated that he wants the Iran conflict wrapped up within weeks. But on the ground and in the skies, the signal tells a different story. These aircraft are already being used to target Iranian-backed militias and fast attack boats in the Strait of Hormuz. The message is clear. While diplomatic messaging talks of closure, the military buildup indicates preparation for sustained, high-intensity operation. A-10 Warthog is not your typical fighter jet. It is a battlefield bruiser built for one purpose: to support troops on the ground. Designed during the Cold War, this aircraft specializes in close air support, flying low and slow to directly assist soldiers in combat zones. Its defining feature is a massive 30 mm cannon capable of unleashing devastating firepower in seconds, making it lethal against armored vehicles, boats and fortified positions. Unlike high-speed jets, the A-10 can loiter over a battlefield, track targets with precision and strike repeatedly. Despite being decades old, it remains one of the most trusted platforms for ground operations, proven from Gulf War to modern-day conflicts. These aircrafts are typically used when ground operations are either underway or being actively prepared. Their presence suggests that the United States is positioning itself for scenarios that could involve territorial control or direct engagement on land and sea. More importantly, the A-10's vulnerability to the advanced air defenses indicates something critical. Washington believes it has either neutralized or significantly degraded Iran's air defense system. That points to a shift in battlefield dynamics. Let me straight away go to Air Commodore Dr. Ashminder Singh Bihalza. It's a pleasure to have you on the show. Thank you so much, sir. So,
Karthikeya, Jai Hind.
Jai Hind, sir. So,
Nice to see your smile.
Thank you. I'm smiling because I know you are here to decode it, sir, and I will listen. How do we decode the deployment of this piece of machinery, sir?
Yeah, it's great. This machinery was incorporated first in Gulf War 1990-91, thereafter in Afghanistan. It was also there in Syria, Libya, and it was also used in Kosovo and other military operations. So at least 7 military wars, which were long duration wars, this aircraft has been utilized and it has proven itself. It has a titanium external structure, which means it can take a little bit of hit from other weapon systems, which are smaller weapon systems from ground. And that is why it is dedicated for close air support role, like you mentioned. Now, just for humor, its name is Warthog. And what it means is a wild pig in Africa, which has a rugged and ugly exterior, but it is very formidable and aggressive. So, similarly, in the battlefield conditions, when the army is moving forward, it meets any obstacles or to clear the ground of the army ahead, such as against the tanks or armored personnel carriers or even troop concentrations, command and control structures, bunkers. It can be used to destroy them. That is in closer support role, and secondly, also in search and strike. And that is why when you mentioned that it has lower speeds, it flies at lower altitudes, it can turn tight and it can spot those target systems which have not been seen earlier and thereafter carry out strikes on them. And the 30 mm cannon actually has a very high rate of fire, 65 rounds per second or 3,900 rounds per minute. It carries 1,174 rounds, which implies that it is a very formidable weapon, especially when it also carries precision strike weapon systems.
Okay. So
now, having this sorry.
No, please go ahead. Please go ahead.
Yeah, having this background moment, they were also earlier in UAE, Al Dhafra base, that these aircraft were based essentially against Iraq and Syria. So when they have been utilized there from 2015 onwards, and there is a feeling that if they are moved here, and especially when combined with 82nd Airborne Division and combined with 31 Marine Expeditionary Unit, movement itself means that they're going to be utilized. Otherwise, why should you move?
Yes.
Unless you want to create a psychological pressure, and this could be one factor to create a psychological pressure. But whenever these aircraft are moved, because they are in support of the army, it clearly implies that they are being positioned for boots on ground operations. So where would you use boots on ground here? Is the next question. Probably that's what you're going to ask me. where and in which environment can you use? You rightly mentioned, that if the air defense systems have been weakened because these aircraft are low and slow, they are very easily targetable with the advanced air defense systems. But not only advanced, um,
You really are
in
you
Iran.
expecting? Are you really expecting a limited, some sort of a ground operation, sir?
Yeah, I'll come to that. Just give me one
Okay.
minute on just this particular vulnerability, particular part. Then we can get the whole picture very clear when we talk of the ground
Okay.
operations. So there are man pads, which are man portable air defense systems. They have a large number of them, 2,000 to 5,000, and their ranges are from 4 kilometers to 6 kilometers. Altitude of operations 2 to 4 kilometers, which means if this aircraft is flying, even though it has electronic warfare equipment, it would be quite vulnerable to the manpads that are available in the battlefield. Keeping this factor in mind, because see, you can suppress the advanced air defense systems. What you can't suppress is infrared heat seeking missiles, which are launched from your shoulder where there is no radar involved. So maybe only missile approach warning system can catch them, but after that there may not be adequate time to use the IR flares so that you can safeguard yourself. So there would be casualties if you utilize this in the battlefield conditions where 100% air defense is not suppressed. So keeping this in mind, so where can it be utilized? We are looking at three different options. The first option is opening the Straits of Hormuz. So, which means on those 6 to 7 islands, that is Kesem Island, Larak, or Hormuz, which are right at that critical juncture, which is 33 kilometers wide, the choke point. And then there are three more down south, which are Abu Musa, Lesser Tum, Greater Tum. So, one could be utilizing them here, understanding that the amount of forces that are being moved here. Or the second could be Kharg Island, which is located close to Kuwait, and it is about 580 kilometers from the Straits of Hormuz. So, from Straits of Hormuz, if you come via the sea, that is the Gulf, Persian Gulf, it will be about 700 odd kilometers, which is pretty far. And if you have to operate at Kharg or occupy Kharg, then you need to come from either UAE, Bahrain, or you need to come from Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, or even Basra from the Iraq. So these are the places from where you could come for the Kharg operations. But keeping in mind that all these are heavily defended, if America actually uses this here, there'll be large casualties both in the A-10 aircraft as well as in the paratroopers who are going to be dropped in case it is Kharg, or in case it's those Hormuz and Larak and Keshem Islands or Abu Musa and other islands. Then again there'll be large losses of airborne personnel or a marine expeditionary unit, especially when the entire coast is at a high ground. And you can utilize either these systems, that is manpads, or anti-ship missiles, or drone boats,
Okay.
or underwater vehicles. So I personally feel that the third option is to drop them close to Natanz, that is in to get the 440 kgs enriched uranium, or Isfahan. But again, that is too deep. I was looking at the distance is about 700 kilometers from the coastline. So if they're going to do that kind of a drop, there is no link up. How are they going to get back the enriched uranium? So again, there will be heavy casualties. I'm not sure of the results because nobody knows where those enriched uranium are and in which tunnel, even if they know the general area. So it would be extremely tough for the Americans to do any of these three operations. And probably this is the reason why Trump has said that Straits of Hormuz can be opened by those people who actually use the Straits of Hormuz. So my own opinion is Trump will be foolish to do any type of boots of operations, but this aircraft movement indicates that they are thinking of it as one option, utilizing boots on ground.
So when we talk about boots on ground, they can't be all over Iran. It has to be some sort of a scissor sort of an insertion. You go in and you come out.
But how do you come out? And like I mentioned to you, manpads are everywhere, 2,000 to 5,000. Actually, whatever numbers that we are talking of, Iran has got more numbers out of that.
Okay.
Whether you look at ballistic missiles, cruise missiles, or drones, they have larger numbers than what was anticipated by the Western countries. So when we look at this, if that many manpads are there, with the terrain and geography being a natural fortress,
Okay.
anywhere they use, where is the link up going to take place? Where is resupply? How are they going to extricate? And extricate, if it doesn't take place, they'll be massacred. And when you have lakhs and lakhs of people, and every Iranian would be virtually an enemy there.
Absolutely, sir. I've really run short of time, but in the 8 minutes I spent, I have understood what these planes are about, the pluses, the minuses, and the problem which the entire American army will have if they decide for any sort of a land insertion. And your opinion is it would be suicidal if they do that?
Absolutely. And they
Suicide.
shouldn't even think about it.
They shouldn't even think about it.